I'm Shane.
And I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
Welcome back.
It's another one, guys.
Right.
We're closing out December here, so we're going to keep this marathon going of Christmas movies.
We know it's after Christmas, but it's still December. It counts. Right? And you guys have enjoyed it. You know you have.
But before we get started with anything else, before we tell you what movie, before any of that, you guys know the drill. I'm going to hit our socials, so that way you guys know where to find us. If you're a new listener, which again, we recently saw, we broke 50 subscribers on YouTube.
Woo!
We have over 200 hours of playtime on YouTube. That's a lot of people listening. And we are almost, I think we're only like 20 away from having 500 downloads of the podcast episodes themselves from
all the other stuff.
Other places, yeah.
Aw, thanks for listening, guys.
So we're doing good.
We're doing great.
But yeah, so for any of the new people who are joining us,
welcome.
Welcome. And this is, if you need to know where all you can find us, you can find us on Facebook. That's Kentucky Fried Critics. Nothing special. That's it.
Yep.
Instagram. I noticed last time I said Instagram, but I never actually said the handle. It is also just at Kentucky Fried Critics. Yeah, they're both really easy. They're the same. Then we get to YouTube. Now, this is the one. Caused some contention. We are at KF Critics. We are almost at the end of December as of recording. So hopefully I'll be able to check in the next month and see that they've closed out the other person and we can just have it.
Yep. We can just have the at Kentucky Fried Critics like everything else.
If not, then we're going to maybe start positioning everything to be hyphenated. All the links will start being hyphenated after this to match our hosts over at Acast, because they're the ones that give us the obvious next moment, which is our website. Our website there is going to be shows.acast.com/Kentucky-Fried-Critics.
Nice.
That is the website that, again, right now you're not going to see much there. It is just links to all the places that you can download episodes. And so it's going to be most of your podcast platforms. It's going to be Spotify, Amazon, Google, until it's gone. They officially made an announcement like by April it's shutting down. So, but you can find us there until it's gone. So if you do use Google, find us there. Move it to a different server, because obviously it's not going to be there to listen to much longer. So maybe start listening on Amazon or Apple or Spotify or YouTube.
YouTube's good.
Again, no video there right now, guys. We're still working the kinks out on doing something like that. We're doing okay.
One day.
That's going to be it. That's our socials. That's everywhere you can find us. I think that means that we're ready to get into the movie. So I'll go ahead this time instead of throwing it to Bo for what the movie is. He can go over the beer once we hit it, but I'll go ahead and just say the movie, because again, as we mentioned last time, this is newer one. A lot of the others we've been throwing out classics. The most recent movie we had done was 30 years old. We're pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close. 96. I think it was the most recent one.
I mean, 26 years. I mean, we round up.
Good 30 years ago.
This one, 2021. This is pretty new.
Oh, I forgot how to do math. Like 2 years old?
Yeah, 2 years this Christmas. Yeah, it was officially 2. So again, like, this isn't like it's been a regular rotation in my house forever. It's not one of those.
Stumbled upon it one day.
Yep. This is 8-Bit Christmas. It's a HBO Max. Max. They dropped the HBO. When I watched it first time, it was still HBO
Max.
But it's an original of theirs. It's got Neil Patrick Harris as the main star.
Nice.
Which is always a big draw.
Right. Gotta love some NPH.
Obviously, the 8-bit lets you know. Somehow we got some video games, some Nintendo.
Right. So there, we're going to be interested, obviously.
Yeah. It was just one of those things grabbed my attention. Now I'll throw it to Bo, because again, the beauty of the Christmas marathon was that none of these had anything to do, so we can totally tell you the movie before the beer. There was no clue.
There's no game right now.
We'll pick that back up.
Yeah, we'll pick that back up next
year.
It's in like 3 days. But yeah, the beer for this week is Abita Christmas Ale.
And I have to say, we're already pleasantly surprised by this.
Yep.
We opened the bottle expecting, as we've found this month, mostly things with some cinnamon, some ginger,
some kind of Christmas spices
into it. Not that that's been an issue.
No.
We've been fine with all of them. But we were expecting more of the same.
Yeah.
But this, once you poured it in the glass, we thought we were getting another Scotch ale, like Bell's.
Yeah, because that's what it looks like.
It's got that kind of color.
That color.
But no. Taste-wise, I'm getting IPA.
Me too. It's fucking with my head.
I don't know enough about beer to know the difference. Someone out there who knows, go ahead and give us a shout out. Yeah. Because again, unfortunately, we have no idea, because Abita says on their bottle that theirs is not the same every year.
Yeah.
Christmas ales are different.
They do a different recipe every year, so
So-
we have nothing to go on.
It doesn't tell us what this year's recipe was. So for non-beer people like ourselves,
Yeah, we just like drinking it.
the closest thing I know to say it tastes like is an IPA.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
got that kind of flavor.
That
to
kind
it.
of grapefruity, bitter
Yeah.
flavor.
You want to sit and drink it out in the summer more so than winter, maybe. Like that's usually how I feel about IPAs.
crisper.
We'll touch back on it after we get to the end. We'll let you guys know.
Full report coming soon.
I guess we're ready to start talking about the
Ooh,
movie. So again, before we get way into it, we'll go ahead. We'll talk about a couple of the other people. I already said we got Neil Patrick Harris as our main character. Now I say that.
/ narrator.
It's a loose thing, right? Like there's a present day and a throwback to the past, right? Flashback. But unfortunately, it's not like solid flash, or fortunately, because I love Neil Patrick Harris, and even they do it a little often, but they do a lot of throwbacks. It's not even like a solid like, hey, he's going to start the story and then we never see him again until the end. There is a constant
Cut back and forth.
to the present day and then the flashback. He is telling a story to his child. So they're like, we get little cuts of the kid asking questions and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we do see him quite a bit, but he is technically our narrator. The main bulk
Of what he's doing is just narrating the story.
the story from when he was a kid. We've got Neil Patrick Harris. We've got Winslow Fegley, who is a kid who's in a lot of stuff now. He's just like an up and coming type.
One of those guys?
Yeah. He's been in like a few Netflix movies, like specials. Like I mean,
He was good in this. I liked him.
Then we've got Steve Zahn.
I love him.
Yeah, I love Steve Zahn.
Saving Silverman.
I've loved Steve Zahn since Joyride. That's like one of his first ones. Like the original Joyride.
I don't
You know what I'm
remember
talking
that
about?
one.
Paul Walker. They get chased. It's like a horror movie. They get chased down, but they put a CB radio in their car and they get chased down by a trucker that they were fucking with on the CB radio.
I don't remember that one. Sounds
You've
good.
got to see
We're
it.
going to have to do that one.
It's good, dude. It's a crazy fucking movie. So the next person we got Kathy Doyle, the mom. The mom is played by June Diane Raphael. Don't know her.
Nope. Never saw her before.
She did good.
Yeah.
I believed her.
Me too.
Next person we got, again, we're just keeping in the Doyle family here. Like we said, we got Neil Patrick Harris was adult him.
Adult.
Then we got Jake,
Who's
young
kid
him. That's
him.
him. Yeah. Then we had Steve Zahn was the dad. Then we had the mom. Now we got the little sister, Lizzie. Bella Luna Resnick.
Wow, what a name.
Right? I don't know. But so yeah, the rest of the cast in this movie is just a bunch of kids. It's a young cast because it's all throwback flashbacks to when he was a child in the 80s. So I apologize if you are a big fan of any of these child actors.
But I don't know who they are.
Yeah, like I said, the main kid, I only know him from a couple of things already.
They did good. That's all I can give
Yeah,
them.
it was a great
They were all
ensemble.
really good actors.
I loved all of them. I believed everything I saw. Now, there is one major cameo that's in the movie, but I'll wait to talk about it when we see him. Because
I wouldn't even call it a cameo. I'd call it guest star.
something. Yeah, for
Right,
a movie. Yeah. But again, there's one big person that pops up, but it's not till way later in the movie. And I'll wait to bring it up when he shows up because I think it's a surprise. And so if you've not seen the movie, I want you to be as surprised as I was when I stumbled upon him in this movie.
And now you have to listen until we get to it.
That's right. You're hooked. But that's it. That's all we really needed to say about them. I know it wasn't much, but like I said, this is a cast of mainly people that I had not heard of. You'd expect me. I started with Neil Patrick Harris. I know I thought I hooked you guys, right? You thought, man,
in PH. Let's
we got a
go.
big cast
Big
here.
damn-
Nope, he was it. He was the draw. He was the draw. Steve Zahn, don't get me wrong, I love Steve Zahn.
Him
But
and-
he's not the name you throw out to like be like,
Hook
we're
people.
getting some big people in this.
No, but they were definitely the highest paid people on set.
Oh, for sure. Again, this is one of my picks. We already told you guys that I got the last one.
Yeah.
So I did get the Christmas one, but I also got the one that's officially no longer a Christmas time one. So, but that being said, I picked this one because, much like Scrooge was a throwback to my dad loved that movie. I also wanted another one to be a throwback to like the kind of movie that my dad loved. He had already passed away by the time this one come out. But to me, this movie has a very Christmas story kind of
Your
vibe.
dad would have loved this movie.
Yeah. It has a very Christmas story kind of vibe, right? Like it's just the dude talking about when he was a kid and his relationship with his friends and like the crazy adventures.
Yeah.
And I know A Christmas Story is the kind of movie that divides people. And it's TNT's fault.
hate that movie.
It's TNT's fault.
It is
dude.
TNT's fault.
It's a good movie, but
You can only watch it so many
It never
times.
needed to take over the airwaves for like weekends.
No.
You know what I mean? Like that there was
24 hours of A Christmas
Fuck,
Story.
dude, originally it was weekends. It was literally like the full
so they
weekend.
cut it down by the time I got
yeah.
older.
So I didn't want to do A Christmas Story for obvious obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But I wanted something that definitely captured that kind of vibe for it to be another one to throw back as a tribute for my dad.
Yeah, I like this one better.
I love both of them for different reasons. But yeah, again, you are point proving the reason why I knew that I couldn't use a Christmas story.
It's 50-50. You love it or hate it.
Yeah, and it's hard. Again, I understand that. Well, there was a point when I was a kid that I was also the same because my dad wanted to watch it at least one time every time it would come on, and I would be like, I don't even fucking want to watch it the once. I totally get the vibe. I did at some point grow past it, but I love all of them. Like a Christmas Story is like a sequel. It has sequels. The new one I was already telling you about before, where it's like brand new, right? But they also did one that's called My Summer Story or something like that. And it's got one of the younger Culkins in it, and it is literally just the same. Like it's Ralphie. It's all the same characters. It takes place in the summer. Yeah, it was made in like the 90s. It's such a good movie.
I've never even heard of it.
I suggest you watch that one, and it might actually make you want to watch. It'll give you a new
perspective on the Christmas Story,
that one, because it's so fun to see like those characters in a different way make you actually like them again. I'll see if I can find it because I don't know if it's the kind of thing we could work back into this, but I definitely think it's the kind of thing that you should watch.
Sure we could. We can just find like a summer ale or something.
I mean, we probably could. We'll get back onto this. But yeah, so this was just it had some sentimental connection to me, mainly because of how I viewed the story.
Made you have the feelings.
Yeah. That being said, it is also just a really fun story.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, it is nonstop 80. Like, again, if you were a kid, roughly our age, within, as I always like to say, like with 10 years, like if or so, maybe 15, like from like 45 to 30, if you're that age range, you can connect to this on some level.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the movie, regardless, definitely makes you feel like
nostalgia
for the 80s. And again, they do that same kind of thing the Goldbergs show did, where they always generic and they blend things together. Like they'll take things that are definitely in 86 and say it was 83. You know what I mean? And so this movie definitely did a lot of that on purpose to make sure that, again, like you said, you definitely weren't old enough to have recollections of 88.
No,
but you feel like this was so. But you felt like this was your childhood. They did that on purpose. You know what I mean? Like they did it so that way it was all like a generic age group.
They did a great job because it's like, oh, we all had friends like this. Like you had that one annoying friend who wasn't really your friend, but he was always there.
Yeah. They definitely captured like what public school in the late 80s to early 90s was like. So like all of the school stuff, I was like, no, this is 100. It's before school changed.
Yep.
Right. I remember when school changed from like the way we see it here to slightly more like modern takes on how schooling is done.
Yeah.
And you just don't get some of the things you saw. You didn't get the like raw. There's nobody actually watching
the kids on recess
and stuff like that. That is something that 100% disappeared. Right. Like now there's probably like 5-6 teachers at a time.
Camera drones. What are you talking about? Just hovering around the kids.
So like, there's definitely a lot of this like bleeding together of like this time era.
Yeah.
So that way they knew they would capture like they wanted to capture millennials in general. So they tried to make sure it was like a fuzzy.
It's like, you remember this.
Yeah.
Remember that? You had one of those.
It was, or they did it close enough to where you're like, well, I didn't have that, but I remember that feeling.
Or I remember seeing that on TV.
Yeah, right? Like, again, like if maybe you weren't old enough for the Nintendo, but you were still old enough to remember being like 8 wanting the Super Nintendo. Like, again, you would still feel this.
Yeah, you'd have that connection to it.
Because it feels close enough. They made sure to make sure it...
Yeah, because we already had a Nintendo.
Well, I remember getting my first Nintendo. But that was, again, it was still already like 4 years. You know what I mean? It was after it came out, for sure. So the movie opens, though, with a few different Christmassy songs. Did you notice?
Yeah,
like,
they kind of...
Literally, it's like 15 seconds of like a full Christmas music-y song. And then
it goes...
there was like a little bit of an 8-bit interlude kind of sound
with
between it.
Title screen or whatever.
And then it goes into full Christmas song, and I was like, oh, so we're not really getting like a true like
musical intro
to the movie, and we didn't.
It was like each title screen got a different song bite.
They definitely made sure the one had like the video game transitional sounds, like chip tune or whatever they call it. I
can't remember what it's called, trip tune or something like that.
I think it's chip tune, but yeah. So that's
those awesome Nintendo sounds that we all love.
We zoom in on the most modern of all problems: a kid complaining to their parent about why they deserve to have a phone.
Mm-hmm. Because she
at a young age.
Oh,
she's like 8,
9, something like that.
Definitely doesn't need her own phone. I'm not saying maybe not because I'm one of those people. I love tech. I'm not saying maybe not a device of some sort, but not a phone.
Yeah.
You know, like
you can have this tablet,
an iPod, or something, some kind of screen.
Yeah, one of those.
I'm not against her having a screen. A phone though, with a data plan, with phone calls. That's much.
Yeah, but she's got a good point though. I mean, her friends do call her dad way more than anybody else.
After he slips on the ice, he gets a phone call that is literally for her.
He's like, it's for you.
And then he stands up from the ice, and we get the first of many jokes. And what's beautiful is, since this is a flashback movie, I don't even know which one to call the callback joke. Is it this? Is it this moment, or is it technically?
It's this if you've seen it. If you've already watched it once, this is a callback joke because you're like, that's funny because of this ice is still there.
Yeah, the callback is actually later in the movie because it's the first time in story that someone fell on the ice.
Right.
Not the first time visually seeing someone.
Yeah.
But so this ice exists here. And he even stands up. He says it. As soon as he stands up, he goes, Still? With the ice?
Really? Looking at the Santa?
Almost as if it's the same Santa.
The Santa's like, they told me they salted it.
But so that's a joke. Again, we only point out, if you've seen this, you already know the payoff. If not, we pointed it out because there is a payoff.
Yeah, it comes back later.
It comes back a lot.
The ice is important. Pay attention to the ice.
He stands up, and she's still trying to convince him that she deserves a phone. And she throws out the burning orphanage.
What if I'm in a burning orphanage and I have to call somebody?
I was like, Jesus, this kid is going to some like crazy extremes, right?
MPH even says it. He's like, I appreciate the effort, but no, your determination is admirable.
We find out that they are finishing their Christmas shopping, or not even shopping, because it didn't look like they had things. They were just like window shopping,
I guess. I don't know.
But so they're on their way to his parents' house, right?
Grandma and Grandpa's house.
Yeah, Grandma and Grandpa's house for the holiday season. They're gonna meet the mom there, but so it's just basically it's a movie where he's got to entertain his daughter, and he's struggling.
Yeah, because she
thinks the only way to be entertained is
on a phone. She wants to text her friends and all that stuff. That's all she wants.
And he's just trying his best to not give in. And
yeah, because even when they get to Grandma and Grandpa, he's like, "You want to play like some hockey?
You want to do something?"
She's just
play
like,
in the fort.
She's just like, "No, I don't want to do that. I don't like doing that anymore. I just want my phone."
And then he was like, "I got an idea. Let's play my Nintendo." And now I have some major issues because he says this, then they walk up to the Nintendo and he starts talking to her like she would not know what it is, right? Like he was like, "Oh, this thing. Let me tell you what this thing does." She even
says it looks like Tupperware.
And I'm like, no kid doesn't know. Like they maybe haven't actually played with a real one.
Yeah.
But kids know what a Nintendo
is. The internet has beat it into their skull.
They probably own a Switch, which has Nintendo games on it that they can access. Yeah. They know what it is.
This little girl, she's completely oblivious.
My main issue being here, if he's the kind of dad who has the memory that we're about to see about Nintendo and he loves his, you hear him talking about it right now, there's no way this girl doesn't know.
None.
My son knows what Nintendo is. My son has known what Nintendo is since he was 4.
His first memories of Nintendo. He had Nintendo's hanging over his crib. It was dangerous.
Not quite, but it might as well have been. You get my point. There's no way. The kind of dad that they're painting for this story, for the world that we live in.
Like it's a secret or something. He's secretly hid his Nintendo addiction or something. And he's just now telling his daughter about it.
So many problems with it.
Plot contrivance.
He was like, "Oh, let's play." So they start playing, and we see that he starts to tell the story about how he got the Nintendo, and he talks about how he wasn't allowed to have it when he was a kid. Because she even calls him on that. She was like, "You had a Nintendo? I thought Grandma and Grandpa hated video games and things like this." Oh, they did. Let me tell you. And again, it's almost like the irony is lost on him about, we know where we're going, but right now he's literally just being like, "Oh, I love this thing."
Right.
They wouldn't let me have it, but this thing is the greatest thing in the world.
He's just all nostalgia right now. And he doesn't see the
irony of like how that's exactly what he did.
You just did this to me a minute ago, Dad, with the phone, remember?
Yeah, like you're telling me a story that's supposed to make me feel better, but it's a story about how you got shafted the same way. I don't understand what we're doing here.
Misery loves company. You got screwed over, so I have to too. Is that what this is, Dad?
Right? Like I don't understand. I was like, this is a weird, like, because I know how kids work, and kids definitely would have said that to him. They'd have been like, whoa, you just did this.
Yeah, hypocrisy. Yeah, I point thee out.
So you learned from Grandma and Grandpa, eh?
Yeah.
Like they would have said something. They would not have let it go for sure, or at least maybe that's just because that's the kind of kid I was. I had a smart mouth,
just smart ass kids only.
And so that's just what I'm used to and think of, because I'm also around a lot of other smart ass type kids. I don't know, but to me, like that's an obvious, like a kid would not have let that statement fly.
No,
they'd have been like, no. We need to address the elephant in the room real quick.
Mr. Pot, this is Mr. Kettle. Have you two met?
He gets into a story before we start sliding into the flashback. Though I want to point out, we get some sick Paperboy action going
Right.
on the TV.
That was cool.
I love Paperboy. I love Super Paperboy. I love Paper. It was one of my favorite games. It's so simple. There's not much to it. So fun.
I sucked at it. I couldn't hit the houses.
Dude, you don't even always have to hit the houses. You actually get more points. This is where the trick is when you start to find this stuff out. You get points for hitting the paper on the doorstep.
stoop.
But as you go down the street, you want to start doing all the other stuff because there's like there's the guy working on the car. You can get extra points for not hitting the car. You lose points because it falls on the guy. But there are different things like you can do like that going down the street. You can hit the dog that runs down the street. You actually get points for hitting the dog because he might go run and hit the car and knock the car on the guy. Like so, there's a story down the street.
Yeah. I was always breaking the windows and game over.
But yeah, so I just wanted to point that out because I love Paperboy and they definitely picked a good game. I think again, it's not one of the most popular.
No, but it's like it's the classic
good.
black box Nintendo game.
It was good. We then roll straight into his flashback, which I love. He's just talking about riding a bike, right?
Yep.
And again, this goes to exactly what happens in real life when someone starts to tell a story like this and what will be our plot mover through a lot of the story when it gets awkward.
Right.
Is that these stories aren't told to 100% specifics. These stories are told to whatever he needs to make the story work. The major plot points are there.
Yeah, but he's some embellishments and things.
Tweaking things to make it fit. And he does so from the very beginning. Because he's like, I could ride my bike in 6 minutes or something.
If they cleared the snow out of the way.
From my house to Timmy Keen's house. This bike ride, though, is the spot where the music that they're using 100% should have been
the intro music.
Right? Like, this music sounds video gamey.
Yeah.
It's not as Christmassy.
No, but it's fine. It's always got that Nintendo vibe to it. Missed
Nintendo
opportunity.
theme.
This should have been in the beginning.
100%. He rides over to Timmy Keen's house. When we get there, he said it like Timmy was his friend, right?
Yeah,
like he was like, I know how long it takes me to get to Timmy's
his house to my house in like 6-7 minutes.
But we quickly see that it's not a friend. There's a crowd outside chanting Nintendo. And while we're still trying to figure out what's going on, Jake finally hits us with this kid is rich.
He's a douchebag.
And he does this every weekend or
every Saturday or something.
And he just raffles out the chance
to
get to hang out.
10 of you get to come in and play my Nintendo.
Which is so bizarre.
It is.
Right?
He just goes up on the porch. He's just like, hey, you can come like a fucking king. Like, you may enter.
Well, and he lives the vibe,
he's
right?
He's power tripping on this,
and he looks the part. He's wearing the karate gi, like he's some kind of cool
fucking karate kid and shit.
He's wearing the gun is tucked into his belt holster.
The duck hunter gun, the orange one.
He's totally a tool.
He is.
You can tell.
He's an absolute fucking tool.
He's the rich kid in town. As we find out, he's the only kid in town who has a Nintendo.
Yeah, that's why he can get away with this shit.
Sad. Lets us know how small this town is. Batavia? Right? They
I think so.
Tell us a few times. Such a small town. Such a douchey kid. Like, this kid is douchey enough to be in a city. You know what I mean? Like, let's think about 80s movies.
This is the guy with the sweater over his shoulders, tying the knot and the polo shirt.
He is a total tool. But so outside, we see Jake gives us the rundown, right?
Of his
crew.
buddies.
So yeah, he gives us the breakdown of his gang. His gang includes Jake himself. Then we got Mikey Trotter, who's the kid who sees all the rated R movies.
Yeah,
us. Yeah, it's us.
That was me that was me of my group.
Yeah, 100%. Like, nobody cared what I watched.
Have you seen this horrible bloody horror movie? No.
Yeah,
you got to come over this weekend.
Spend so much of my time telling friends like entire breakdowns of movies that they weren't allowed to see.
Yeah,
right? Like, I mean, I got really good at it.
Just watch the jealousy on their face.
Might be where some of my storytelling comes from.
Probably.
Right? Like just doing this as part of my everyday life. Telling people,
rubbing it in like, I got to watch it and you didn't.
After Mikey Trotter, we get introduced to Evan Olsen. Evan is the dorky kid in the group, right? Like, he's allergic to.
He's the one who's allergic to like everything and
specifically
SpaghettiOs
and bees.
What happens if it happens at the same time? Like he's eating SpaghettiOs and a bee stings him.
I don't think it would work, right? Because we find out SpaghettiOs make him throw up, and most people who are allergic to bees, their
throat closes up.
Yeah, so I don't think he could do both.
It's just kids start to go and then his throat closes and then he just get blocked from both ends and explodes.
That's my guess.
Yeah. What an awful way to go.
But so yeah, Evan is definitely he's the worry wart of the group. He's nervous about everything.
Yeah, I probably got to go home.
His parents
soon.
don't let him do anything. Obviously,
like, I'm not allowed to do
sheltered
things.
kid.
Yeah, that
right?
kid.
We again, everybody in this group are tropes of real people.
Yeah, you all know somebody like these kids.
Yeah, or you were.
These kids.
If you don't know someone like these kids, you were probably one of them, and you didn't realize.
Yeah, and you didn't realize it.
Next up on the roster is the one that really hits home for me. That's going to be Tammy and Teddy Hodges.
The twins?
The Hodges twins. Again, I am a twin, and not only am I a twin, I am a fraternal male-female twin set, just like these two are.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see representation, because normally when you watch a TV show or a movie, and they want to do twins,
they're identical.
They're identical twins.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk about the fraternal twins. It's not as interesting. It's not as fun.
You can't do the twin swap thing.
None of that's there, you know?
Yeah.
It's nice to get some representation.
Nice to get it, man. Good for you.
Tammy is the smarter twin. Now, this is the part where I have to say it's a little less like my life. In my life, I was the smarter twin. Sorry if you're listening to this.
That's fine. She knows.
So I felt like, I felt a lot of representation, but they dropped the ball at the end for me personally. I mean, I'm pretty sure plenty of people felt represented, but for me personally, they dropped it. They dropped the ball.
The genders were backwards. Yeah. I was the smart one.
Yeah. I'm just saying. And then
I was the pretty one.
Then the last one of the group is not even really part of their group. Jeff Farmer.
Yeah, but again,
he's the pathological liar. And then Jake literally tells us he's not really part of the group. He's just always there.
He's not our friend, but he's just kind of always there. We all had that guy.
Right after they finish the introduction for each person, we get a little like snippet of their personality. Most of them, it didn't matter. You understand from what we told you. Jeff Farmer, though, I have to address because his little snippet of his personality was him making
hilarious.
The Bon Jovi joke and then them being like, "What? But I thought you left because you had the runs or whatever." This gave such hardcore like chunk vibes from the Goonies
because he's always telling the stories.
Yeah,
and
like
shit.
they wanted it to be a definite like reminiscing point for people.
It's like
from
Michael
the
Jackson coming to your birthday party or whatever the fuck.
Exactly like that. Totally wanted that. They totally pulled it off.
Thought you had to go stunt double for Tom Cruise. It's like, this is true. Because he, like me, also has the need for speed. I fucking laughed my ass off. It was good.
And then after we get our introduction, though, we see Timmy Keene come step out on the porch.
Yep.
Wearing the karate gi, like we said earlier.
Right.
He's got the zapper gun.
Zap gun.
And he's got 2 Swatch watches. Did you notice that?
The
double Swatch watches? Like, goddamn kid.
One of them is set for, like Eastern time, and one's for, the West Coast.
I guess. It was, this kid. Every time they show him, I just hate him.
You want to smack him. You just want to smack him.
And we see him do exactly like we told you. He just starts picking these kids at random. He's not looking. He doesn't care.
No.
Because to him, it's all about the power.
Right.
It's got nothing to do with anything else.
Control over you minions.
And then he grabs the ones. He goes inside, and we see this sweet,
fucking dope ass fucking basement.
And
this was so awesome.
Unbelievable, right?
This basement didn't actually exist.
This kid has everything he could want.
Right? Pool table, pinball machine.
There's a soda fountain.
Like restaurant style where you put the cup up and shit.
Full soda fountain.
It was fucking cool.
And he still can't handle doing things for himself. He still has to radio up to mom on the intercom for the Pop-Tart. And
Bring
it's
me
like,
a Pop-Tart.
If they're giving you that much and they don't care what you're doing, because again, there were kids chanting Nintendo outside. Nobody stopped.
Nobody said nothing.
If your parents are letting you be that lax about stuff, leave them the fuck alone. Get your own Pop-Tart.
Yeah, go get your own fucking Pop-Tart.
Don't push your luck.
Right. Don't give the parent a reason to come down there. What's wrong with you?
Then we see the Nintendo, right? And we hear Jake give the full description.
It's got all the like smoke machines and shit going.
Because back then it was more than just a game system. It was a full 8-bit entertainment system. I love that.
It said it on the side.
It's a Nintendo entertainment system.
It's not a video
NES
game.
Yeah. Again, it did just play video games. The Atari was closer to this because the Atari you could turn into a computer programs. And, we've all seen Vacation.
Yeah,
where he puts the whole road trip plan up on the TV through the Atari. At this point, we see them playing in the room, and we, again, in case we didn't know how much of a douche Timmy is, we see even more of it. He's playing the game. He's got the gun on top of the TV.
He's just pointing.
It's practically touching the
screen.
Jake even calls it in his inner monologue. He was like, "Yeah, anybody could be good if you're standing an inch away." Like,
I hated it when people would do shit like that. Blatant cheating.
Well, and again, talking about how good he is. Like,
Right?
it's not even like he just did
Winner
it and didn't
stays.
say it.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom,
Like,
boom.
come on.
Fuck you, dude.
Pretended like he was going to give Jake the chance and then pulls it away
Right.
last second. Like, what a tool. That's really all this scene's for.
Yeah.
We leave here just to go to Jake's house to talk about how he wants a Nintendo. Again, this, I guess it sets up for us why he wants a Nintendo
one,
so bad.
so he doesn't have to
Because
put up with this
that's the
dickhead.
only place he can deal with it. None
Yeah.
of his friends have one. I guess
I
that's
get
really
it.
what it's here for. But again, it really just kind of drives home that Timmy Keene is a tool.
Here's this very unlikable douchebag kid you just want to kick in the nuts.
Right. And so, again, now we're at his house. Jake is walking in the door. And we don't understand what we're seeing at first, but he grabs ketchup and
Smears it.
smears it all over his chest.
Like he's wounded. Right?
Yeah, no,
Remember when
I totally.
when you were a kid and you're like playing dead and put
he
the ketchup on you.
he tells us as he's doing it that this was part of his master plan to get the Nintendo. So I thought that's where we were going. I thought he was going to do it to pretend like, Mom, you gotta stop letting me play outside. Kids are getting injured. You know,
Right? Something like that, yeah.
That's not what we find out, though. We find out that his mom is she's a teacher.
Yeah.
We hear her. She's going on about grading papers while she's trying to get dinner ready, while
baking
everything.
cookies and shit.
Like all this other stuff is going on in front of her. So we know she's already like
Maxed.
scatterbrained and got too many things on her plate. And
he's
he
like,
tells
I'm
us
going to add her one more thing to it.
she can't handle it when too many things go on, and she just goes with whatever you say.
Right? She will just agree with anything.
And so he was like, this is how I get my Nintendo. And he throws it out. Hey, Mom, here's my shirt. It's so messed up. And she's like, oh, we got to clean this right away.
And then she starts doing that while she's doing everything else.
And he's like, Mom, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about getting me a Nintendo for Christmas?
she's like, sure, whatever. That's
Sounds
good.
good. Leave me alone.
Right.
Go away.
Yes, we got mom. Score. We're good.
He's like, now we got to get Dad on
The
board.
hard one, we got to get dad.
And we see that his dad is the perpetual handyman.
The
And I don't mean handyman in like how we had mentioned our dads were handymen.
Just
and
when shit broke, they'd fix it. Like, no, he's like,
no, this is the
constant.
guy. He's got projects,
Right,
and full renovation.
He put in a cabinet 10 years ago and never stopped.
Yeah, he's got full rooms that are plastic partitioned off
Right.
because again,
That's
they're
how
probably open air at that point.
That's his entrance. He just walks through one into the kitchen.
That means that there's no warmth in that room anymore.
No,
it's just somehow not being insulated from everything. Jeez, man, this guy's projects are intense.
In freaking Illinois in the winter.
There's already snow. Yeah, again,
a-
this place was cold. It was a lot to be doing something like that. Yeah, like you said, we see him come in. Kid drops he's a dyslexic Bob Vila. Great line.
I love that one.
Definitely lets you really understand the kind of guy that we're dealing with here. But his dad's like, I'm going to need you to help me with this project.
Yeah, come on. Gotta go in here.
Again, you can tell, normally not the thing Jake does.
They'd whine and bitch.
He tells us as much. But he's like, I need this Christmas. I need this Nintendo.
Right.
It is mine.
This is how I'm going to get it.
And so he goes in there. When he goes in, though, we get this brief moment where he tells us that his mom tells him, you got to be wearing your safety glasses. Again, he's just telling this. I don't know why it would even be part of the story he said out loud. Like, yeah, we see it in the flashback. But he had to say it out loud for his daughter to stop
here.
us.
Yeah.
And she stops and goes, did you actually wear safety glasses?
Oh, yeah.
And we see in the flashback where they actually show that he was wearing safety glasses. And then he says,
Yeah, kind of.
So yeah, we see him. He's got the paper bag on his head, and his dad's just talking to him like it's a normal thing. Because in the '80s, that would have been.
No, that was
completely
what happened. Like my dad would just be like, "Shut your eyes. I'll tell you when you can open them."
Right, like that's very '80s. That's one of those moments you feel the connection. They definitely wrote this in a way where if you're from the time frame,
period,
you know this. Some part of your childhood was like this.
Yeah.
Something connects.
You helped your grandpa do something. He just went, "Close your eyes," or he just tied a rag around your face or something.
No seatbelt, and they just put their arm in front of you.
Yeah, mom was good at that one.
That was the norm. That's just how you did it. It was
lightning reflexes.
TV shows would make that joke because that's just how it was. Nowadays, if you made that joke, the instant thing would be that it has to end with the parent being arrested or something because they didn't have you in a seatbelt.
Yeah, it's exactly what happened.
So it's just saying, it's totally one of those things where it's like that.
They just tried to stop us from smacking our face into the dashboard when we were kids. It's just woof.
We see though his dad. He gets finished with this project. He takes the mask off, and his dad's carving the J for John because he carves his initial, just the one,
just a J
into everything that he does, meaning this whole house.
It's covered in just J's.
Solitary J's everywhere. Inside cabinets.
I would have came up with a neat little symbol or something.
And we see that as he's finishing up putting this J on the table, Jake looks at him and goes, "You know, Dad, those hands look mighty strong.
How'd you get such strong hands, Dad?
Been working 20 years doing this.
I do all kinds of stuff with them. That's how you do it." And he's just like, "We should get me something.
Maybe strengthen my hands.
Make my
So
hands stronger.
Maybe for Christmas?
You know, maybe like, I don't know, a Nintendo." And his dad's just like, "Yeah.
That's a great idea.
That is a good idea. Done." And you could tell he has no idea what a Nintendo is.
Totally, the kid messed up.
Yeah.
He knew that this wasn't right. He knew his dad didn't know. He knew if you're going to do something like this, you got to trick them and they have to know what they're you know what I mean? Like, you can't trick them with them not knowing what it is. You have to trick them with them knowing what they're buying.
Or otherwise you're going to get something
the plan
weird.
falls apart at the end.
Right? Because his dad's is like, I don't know.
His dad could, as we find out,
Yeah.
in just a couple of moments, his dad could ended up buying him tools because he wasn't paying attention.
Could have got a power drill or something.
I digress. We'll get back. We'll get there in just a second.
Yeah, in just a second. But yeah.
Could have ended up way worse for him, and he knew it. Again, I've watched this enough times. I've seen the scene.
The way he acted it
There's
out.
no way he should have thought his dad knew what the Nintendo was by the way that conversation went.
And you can tell the dad doesn't when he
he looks so confused at first, and then just goes with it.
Sure, that's a thing. Yeah, some kind of like some kind of like one of those grippy hand spring things. Make your hand strong.
From there, though, we get the weird cutaway to present day to see the daughter being like, "I want my phone still," because the texts are coming in. She's obviously getting bored by the conversation still.
She's like, "Cool, so you got the Nintendo. You won. Awesome."
He's like,
"Can I have my phone now?"
There's more.
God damn it. Fuck.
And so then we see dinner. It's dinner time, same night. Before we really get into dinner, though, we see the dad, his nasty, dirty, disgusting Bears cup. He only drinks from that cup now.
Because they won a championship the
last time
he drank out of it.
I only bring this up. He's got a nice Molson golden beer sitting right there. If we weren't doing Christmas, we would have had to find a way.
That would have been the one. Nobody would have got it.
Perfectly zoomed in. It would have been for us. We would have known it. Yeah.
Oh, it was blatant product placement. You can see the label clear as day. Look how
Again, they don't do it a lot, but that one, that was clear.
If you're going to do it, I prefer you do it that way. Yeah. Don't draw too much attention to it,
just
but
enough.
I can see it.
Yeah, just enough. But so then we really get the rest of dinner. Right, again, that moment didn't mean anything. We never see the cup again. I only bring it up for the beer, for the connection of how we might have been able to do this in a different world,
right? If
a
we were still doing the game.
Well, we are.
We're on break.
We're on hiatus for Christmas, man. Celebrating the holidays.
Christmas ales.
But so as soon as we actually start seeing this dinner, we get a couple of things. One thing, we get the foreshadowing on the retainer. Right? This kid, it's double foreshadowing in that if you've seen the movie, you already know where we're going. If you haven't seen the movie, you don't even know that this is where the movie is going, but you've probably lived through you're probably watching this for nostalgia reasons, and you know where 80s shows go with a kid and a retainer. Like, you're just like, oh, this is probably end up in the trash or lost or something. Stuck on a dog. Like, these are just things that happen in 80s TV shows.
All the time.
So, like, you're just instantly like, oh, retainer. They're bringing that up for a reason. Back. But while we're having the conversation about the retainer, Dad's like, you should wear that all the time, even when you're eating. Mom's trying to tell him, like, let's be reasonable.
You can't do that.
And we see finally a real introduction to the little sister. She's kind of just been floating around the background. Yeah, she's just been back
there being cute, whatever.
But now we see she is a bitch, like queen level bitch,
right?
Like, way beyond her years.
One.
She instantly, as soon as Dad's like, should be wearing it while you eat, and the kid's like, I can't do that. She's like, Daddy, I would wear it.
I'd wear it all the time because that's what you're supposed to do, and they're right, Daddy.
Just everything about her. The second she started speaking, I hated her.
Right.
The second.
Annoying little sister 101, this bitch here.
Yeah, and then as if it wasn't bad enough during that conversation, she throws out, oh yeah, Dad, and he's not been doing his chores. The dog poop's still in the backyard. So that turns the whole conversation sideways.
Right,
and this
the
is
entire
why
thing goes bad.
He loses his Nintendo. The conversation leads to other places, but the whole reason we got this conversation was because her and the dog poop. This is all her fault.
Yep, this is all her fault.
So the Dad's like, well, why didn't you clean up?
Why aren't you doing? What were you doing all day?
What was so important? He's like, well, I was hanging out inside. I was over at Timmy Keen's house. We were playing inside. playing inside.
What are you doing playing inside? It's not that cold outside. It's not even freezing.
And he's like, Dad, we just went in there and we were playing. It's not a big deal.
Right.
And again, like I said, it's like he walked into this trap.
My
Dad's from the same, a little bit past this guy's era, right? Like, but still same vein. You know, like my dad liked video games and he still would buy them for me. So he's a little bit better than this dad, but he was definitely still like, you should be playing outside. Yeah. You just spend hours riding your bike, climb a tree, fall down, do stuff.
Go explore the woods and play in the creek and shit.
It's what you do. Blow things up. I don't care.
Yeah,
you
firecrackers.
Like that's that. So I get it. I understand. But this kid walked right into it.
He really did.
If I was dealing with it and I would have known that as a kid, this kid certainly should. He's older than me and he knows his dad is more staunch about this kind of belief. How did he not see this coming?
We were in the woods building a stick teepee.
He should have just lied, right? He should have just lied.
His dad would have been like, "Oh, that's cool," you know.
Again, because this is the era where nobody could have proven him wrong.
No, he couldn't have questioned it at all.
His dad couldn't have pinged his location and been like, "That's not where you were." You know what I mean? Like he could have gotten away with it, but no. He tells him the truth. Well, he still tries to hide it, right? He says that he was at Timmy's. He says he was playing. He says they were inside. He still tries to avoid the Nintendo because he knows the Nintendo of it all is going to get him. Mm-hmm. But then the mom's like, "Oh, you were at Timmy Keen's, you said? I bet you he was playing that Mimtendo."
The Mimtendo with an M.
She double gets it wrong. She doubles it up. She says Mimtendo. The daughter corrects her. Yeah, Mommy, it's a Nintendo. And then the mom goes, "That's what I said, that Nintendo." That's a classic one.
Yeah, it is. I've heard other people call it that. This Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
That was the one I heard all the time.
Nintendo. But yeah, so the mom, though, she calls him on the Nintendo of it all, and she's like, "I would never let us have video games in the house."
This is what the gossip from Japan that she got. It's like, "I was making people's brains melt and it oozed out of their nose and shit."
Totally made up.
We're never going to have one here. Was real. Right.
Yeah, she says, "We're never going to have one." He even calls her on it.
He's like, "No, wait, but you said I could have one."
And she's like, "I never said that."
I didn't. And then turns to Dad. He's like, "You said I could have one."
And Dad, I'll give him credit. He at least owns up to it.
He did. He's just like, "I did."
He immediately backtracks off of the fact that he did it, but he owns up to saying it. Whereas then the mom tried to gaslight the fuck out of Jake. And was like, "I never said that."
No idea what you're talking about, little boy. Be quiet.
I know it's his fault. He's the one who set it up for her to most likely not remember.
Yeah, because mom does not listen to her kids very well.
But she still gaslit the fuck out of
this kid. Did.
But Dad was like, "I remember, but I totally thought you were just talking about power tools. Yeah, like Japanese power tools.
Some kind of Japanese power tool.
So, no, we're not going
to have that here." Dream dies. Boom.
And this is the moment where, again, the dad starts to be like, you shouldn't even need a Nintendo. Just play out. He brings it up again. Just play outside.
Yeah.
And again, this is the moment where we get but Dad, Evan Olsen played outside when it was this kind of cold.
And he almost lost a toe.
He got frostbite and they almost had to cut off his toe.
Yeah, the Olsens are weak stock.
Weak stock. I loved it. Like, I don't know why that joke fucking tickles me so much, but I love that. After this, though, is the moment we pull back into the Nintendo and the sister, because again, the dad, his whole point in bringing this up was, "You're not going to get the Nintendo."
Yeah, and she cracks her little joke.
She cracks looks like a no-go on the Tendo.
Oh my God, she's so goddamn funny.
Mom and Dad both act
terrible fucking people. They are.
They act like they're going to put her in Star Search or something. It was great.
Laugh their asses off. Poor Jake's just like, my whole world.
He is smashed. And then we get the transition. Again,
awesome transition.
Normally we won't talk. We try not to use words like scene and transition. We do. But we're trying our best to not to describe things that way.
It's really cool though.
But this was a transition. This is a scene where
he's sitting
at the table. This belongs in a blockbuster movie. Like, it's so crazy that it's in this generic, made directly for streaming services, because it's so awesome. He gets smashed back in the chair.
Right. And then poof, he's in the snow outside.
So cool.
It was really cool transition. And we're playing a game. We're playing my favorite game when I was a kid. It's called King of the Mountain. We called it King of the Hill. But one guy's on the top and you got to push him off.
But in their game,
oh God, there's a monster.
The odds are not even.
No, this guy's like 25. I don't care what anybody says. There's a grown ass man up there. The Jagorsky.
We got our man Jagorsky, that, as Jake puts it, they're all getting pummeled by.
He is just chucking these dudes off this snow mountain.
Straight throwing them off this thing. He is clear. They say he's been held back a couple of times. This kid is clearly the actor, 20, 25.
Easily.
I could totally believe it, in the makeup and shit they've got on him, the clothes. I would still say high school.
He's easily 16
18.
real life, right?
Jesus, for him to be in the 6th grade.
Right, he is, because he's sitting in class with them later.
That's nuts, man.
He's not just like the older kid hanging around the school picking on the younger kids. He is in their class.
Yeah, it's insane. But so we see him, he's tearing through everybody, and Jake's about to get taken down, but then we have Farmer run up.
Have you heard about the power glove?
And they're like, you can't talk about that right now. Stops everything.
Right.
Talk about what?
The power glove.
Timmy just got a power glove.
Timmy whatever got Timmy Keene. Yeah. He has the power glove. All right, we can't tell anybody. He's practicing for it.
Yeah,
he's doing
chopping
karate chops and shit. What a fucking tool.
Yeah. And everybody's like, what? And then they're like, Farmer, you
keep your mouth shut.
Keep your mouth shut. We're all going to show up because it's going to make it. We want to get in today. We don't. Because again, like we said, there's like a drawing of who gets to be.
Yeah, you got to bribe him this time. You got to bring him something.
So they're all like, we can't tell anybody because we don't want more people. And when we get there, Farmer told everybody.
Fucking everybody. The whole school's there, even the coach.
The coach, man.
That one cracked me up, the coach standing there.
And again, it is, like you said, it's like an auction. He's auctioning off these spots now. He's finally going to get something out of it.
He comes out to music.
His sister starts the tape
pushing the tape for him.
How much do you think he had to give his sister to do that? Because she looked so uninterested.
She was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
He plays the music and he's like, yeah,
I'm the hero.
Let's start the bidding.
What do you got? Like, Trotter's smart. He popped up with the Sports Illustrated.
That was good. And then we got, what else do we see? Jake's got the summer sausage gourmet.
Very
from
important.
His dad.
Bag of fish.
Yeah, who was it?
Somebody had a goldfish. I think it was that Connor Stump.
Was it Connor Stump or was it Evan?
One of the kids with glasses.
One of the dorky kids.
Yeah, one of the dorky kids had a goldfish in a bag. He's like, wait, it's a goldfish. It's a really good pet. Here, take it. He tried to give it to him after he'd already picked everybody. He's like, you sure you don't want it?
The coach throws out.
He's like, I got hard, untraceable cash.
Right here.
I'd have took that. I'd be like, come on in, coach. Hell yeah.
So Timmy picks his 10.
Poor Jake doesn't make the cut because
everybody else he knows does for the second time. How weird is it that this group gets picked? Again,
twice.
From a dude who doesn't pay attention to who he's picking. What are the chances? Everybody but Jake, though, like we said, he sneaks in, though, follows the dog, proving our point that this kid doesn't pay attention.
No, because he just sneaks right through.
He even called out how ridiculous the summer sausage was. Right. So he definitely looked Jake dead in the face to talk about this.
But does not call out the fact that he's suddenly in my basement later. It's fine.
It's whatever. So now we finally see this moment where, again, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit just for this conversation because it only makes sense if we talk about all of it real quick. I feel every moment that this kid goes through when we do this stuff with the power glove.
The full range of emotions of poor Timmy Keene.
We start off, we see Timmy, and he pulls the glove out, and he's, again, right now it's just like looking at it. It's putting it on, it's wearing it the first time.
I mean, it looked sick.
I owned one. It was so cool. It was such an awesome experience. I got it for Christmas. I relate to this. That's about where the excitement ends. And again, we're skipping ahead just a couple of frames here for the movie, but I also feel the moment where Timmy gets lit down.
Yeah.
Because this thing is an utter piece of shit.
It does not work.
Does not work the way it's supposed to. Timmy feels the pain. And again, you see it in the movie. Like, he struggles. He's upset. I felt every bit of what he went through. In, like, the journey
the entire arc.
I felt it.
It's like, I've been you, boy. I understand.
Now, the other thing I have to unfortunately bring up is I feel like I might have been Timmy Keene. I also did Taekwondo as a kid. And I owned a power glove.
You weren't a dick about it, though. Like, you let me play your games, and I was your just annoying little cousin. You didn't, like, make me bribe you with toys to play your Sega.
Well, that makes me feel better. But really, watching this movie, I was worried for a second, man. I was like, man,
So you had cooler toys than me. You probably wouldn't have wanted anything I had.
I just felt so bad. I was like, man, I feel
like, oh no, I relate too much to this
Timmy
dickhead.
I feel too much like him, especially, like I said, I felt everything he did in that scene, and I was like, man, I shouldn't be connecting with Timmy Keene this much right now.
No, you really shouldn't.
But yeah, so now we'll get back to it, though. Again, the conversation doesn't make as much sense if I would have started it with how he felt then and then brought it back up. Yeah. I just wanted to get it all out of the way. I felt the full journey that he's going to go on.
You're just picturing yourself in the same time while he's
Christmas morning, I was so excited.
Like, why don't you fucking work?
And then 10 minutes later, it was trash. I felt it. But so we see Jake's there. Jake gets, he's watching everything go on with Timmy. Timmy, in a surprising twist, does pick Tammy.
Yeah, he plays with the girl first.
I was very proud of that moment because it's not what you'd expect from the douche that he is.
No, you'd expect him to be like, no, girls can't play.
Yeah, I'm shocked that he let her in the building.
I let you down here.
But he does. He lets her play. Mainly because he's cocky. He's like, I'm about to beat this girl.
Yeah.
I'm about to make her think twice about playing a game with me. And so he starts playing, and now's the moment. Again, this is the part. You see him. He's struggling. He's having some issues. All the kids just think he's being Timmy, the douche.
Yeah, the sore loser.
He's just not good at the game. It's not that.
Yeah.
It is exactly what Timmy says. The power glove is a piece of shit. It does not work right. Poor kid. I feel this. I felt this. I remember playing a game and being like, what are these controls?
They don't work. Why? The TV lied to me.
Yeah. It does not let you play with power.
No. Before internet lied to you kids, the TV did it.
I felt for him, but the glove does indeed not work as advertised, and Tammy does take him down.
She spanks him.
Makes him feel like garbage.
You lost to a girl. Ha ha.
Now, one thing we forgot to mention when we talked about Timmy the first time is that Timmy likes to throw fits, and he gets angry. Earlier, we saw this scene. He smacks the Connect 4 board out from his grandma.
So, you screw you, grandma.
So on top of top level douchery, we also have that he has this severe anger issue that is going on, and so of course it comes out.
He loses his goddamn mind here.
He starts kicking, swinging,
doing punches and
flailing.
Kicks. Fucking taekwondo shit, and Jake's over there. He starts the chant, right? The go Timmy go taekwondo, go Timmy go taekwondo.
Everybody gets in on the chant,
right? All the kids are doing it,
and so he does.
He goes full taekwondo, big side kick,
straight into the TV.
Ooh,
smashed
it in,
broke it.
Dude, that's a powerful ass kick. That would have killed you.
Oh yeah,
you gotta take a sledgehammer to those fucking TVs.
Can't believe it.
And then it falls right onto the tiny little dog.
Poor doggy.
And
everybody is literally Jake says, again, we get this moment to his kid. Jake says to his kid, and the dog died.
He's like, the dog dies. Present day Jake.
And he's like, it's the 80s. Things like that happen.
Yeah, shit got real.
And it's true.
Why would you tell me a story where a dog dies?
It is what it is. How did you feel? Like, I've seen this when it first came out. How did you feel when you saw it?
I was like, oh, shit.
It takes you off guard.
Well, because I know exactly how heavy a 42-inch TV from the 80s would weigh.
I am.
That's like a 200-pound TV. That dog is
And it was a tiny chihuahua.
That dog is super dead.
But so then we cut back to the kids, and the daughter's like, so what did you do? And he's like, what any kid would have done. And we see them all run, screaming, get out of here. And we see
the sound of the bones creaking. Oh my God.
Jake gets outside and he sees Evan, and Evan was like, I thought we were going to play with the power glove.
No.
He's like, no, we have to leave here. The terror.
Timmy Keen's is game over, man.
Just go. And again, I point out, this is pre-cell phone. This is pre pictures from your pocket and evidence. And so this is the beautiful moment here. None of these kids had to get in trouble for being at Timmy's house.
Nope.
Timmy's parents don't pay attention, so they don't know who's in the house. They don't know
who was down there.
And since there are no photographs for evidence, every kid can just say,
that wasn't me.
I wasn't there.
I don't know.
I heard about it.
Yeah, we were talking about it at school.
Tommy down the street said something about something going down at Timmy's house.
I just heard him running down the street going, the dog.
Yeah, but I wasn't there.
I have no idea what happened.
Something that is non-existent today.
It's gone now.
These kids,
poor kids, you can't get away with nothing now.
These kids were lucky. They were all able to run away. And when they run off, we hear Jake's inner monologue, and he lets us know he's not sure what's going to happen, but he's pretty sure this is going to wreck his time of Nintendo. Yeah, like, he already gets so little because he only gets in when he gets picked.
I'm probably never going to play Nintendo again.
But he doesn't know, but he knows the repercussions to something like this.
Yeah, it's like, this is over. We're never going back to go there again.
Right. So then, though, the next moment is they're waking up at home. The massive snowstorm had rolled through.
Right.
So we see...
Get to listen to the radio for the school closures.
We see Jake and Lizzie intently watching,
This was such
waiting.
an exciting thing when you were a kid.
And their mom, again, we pointed out, she's a teacher, so she's behind them, and she's trying to be like, don't get too excited.
Don't get too disappointed.
Don't get your hopes up.
Right.
You know, and we hear Jake tell us, this school never gets called off, right? Because we hear the county they live in.
Yeah, like everything else closes around
Every
them.
school in the county they're in except for theirs.
The Russians could be invading. We're still going to school,
And
he
it's
says.
so great because they get to the radio announcer. They're thinking there's one more town. And he's like, oh, sorry. Nope, that was everything.
Yep, no, that's it.
The
Have
mom.
a good day.
The mom of everybody.
She's the one that flips out.
Son of a... No. And then she immediately covers herself.
Yeah. I told you not to get too disappointed.
Not to get your hopes up that you'd get disappointed, guys.
After she threw something off the counter.
She wanted that day off, too,
I
man.
know.
That close to Christmas? Come on. Extra day off is an extra day off. But so we do see this moment is where we get one of those things where, again, like we say, me and Bo don't usually talk about much about these before we start. This is a conversation we did start to talk because it had very little to do with the movie. And it kind of just brought a tangent up that I wasn't aware I would stumble into. If anybody else out there is also of the age that I am, so I was born in 84, Bo was born in 88. We apparently stumbled onto a 4-year cultural gap.
Yeah,
of
some
things that
weird
changed.
thing where we just stopped doing something.
But so as a kid, I recall exactly what the movie sets up here with snow boots and how important it would be to wear snow boots on a day like this where it snowed. Bo, being 4 years younger than me, does not recall how important this is and thought that it was a weird thing because he was like, well, I'd be too poor. I wouldn't have those. And I had to explain to him, like, no, this does not have anything to do with poverty lines. Everybody would have had snow boots back then. Regardless of how...
Yeah, that tripped me up. She's giving him shit for not having his snow boots in school. It's like, you have to wear your snow boots to school. It's like,
well, no,
why?
The teacher goes to crazy lengths. Yeah. But I'm saying, though, that, like, it still would just have been a thing. Like, 95% of your class would have had snow boots on in a day. Like, so Bo thought that this was a very weird scene because he didn't get that it was just trying to be a nostalgia moment. Like all the other nostalgic moments. I thought they were just
going out of their way to make the teacher seem like a bitch. I was like, why is she obsessed with snowshoes?
I understood when I saw all this snow boot talk what they were getting at. Like, to me, it was just like, again, just like the video game references, everything else, it was just like just like the safety glasses. It was just a reference to be like, this is the time.
I got everything but the fucking snow boot reference. That's the only one went over my head. I did good.
But yeah, so we get this whole thing. We went off on our tangent about snow boots before we really talked about theirs. But so the mom tells him he has to wear snow boots. He doesn't want to wear his snow boots, though, because his snow boots are...
girl snow boots.
They're purple.
They're purple.
With flowers.
In French.
Esprit.
It's okay. It means cool.
But so he did not want to wear these boots. And so I
get just a death sentence back then. I understand.
Our whole conversation here just got spurred by the fact that he immediately changed into his shoes. He did get to school and his teacher did berate him, making it seem like it was mandatory. I don't by any means think it was mandatory. This teacher was just shitty pissed because her floor was nasty under his feet.
Yeah. You got my floor wet, you dick.
But she does make a point that if you don't have your snow boots on, you can't play at recess.
No recess. So you can either put your boots on or you can take a check.
And again, this is one of those moments we see just how bad of a kid Jagorsky is.
Yeah.
His is the only name on the board with 100 checks.
That was me.
Obviously, well, I don't even know. I don't want to say obviously because he decides to
put on the girly boots
and go outside, but then he just
hides behind the fucking dumpster
and was going to stay there.
I would have just took the check.
I'd have taken the check mark, stayed inside where it was warm, and read a book.
Yeah.
Called it a day. If all I'm going to do is hide behind the dumpster that smells bad.
With that Connor kid.
Connor Stump. Yeah. If those are my options, I'm going to choose inside over Connor Stump.
Yeah, I'm going to go inside.
Because he's weird.
He is. He hangs out with a flute and eats tuna.
A recorder, man. Let's be right.
A recorder, my bad. So sorry. A flute would have been cooler.
But yeah, so he decided to go outside, and that's all he's doing. He's hanging out with Connor Stump,
trying to hide his
talking
boots
to
from
him.
everybody.
He's weird. And then, of course, when you're going to try to hide that much, it's not going to work.
No,
his buddies come running up.
Dude, what are you doing?
Why are you over here?
Is there a dead squirrel again?
And then they see
all
his
come
boots,
over there and shit.
And they're like, are you wearing Katie Sorrentino's boots?
No, they're mine.
So again, insult to injury, not only are they clearly a girl's boot. Again,
he has the same
he
pair
has to point
as
out to
one
his
of the
daughter.
other girls.
Yeah, he has to point out to his daughter that, purple didn't necessarily, it was a different time. Purple meant girly for sure.
We were a lot more closed-minded about a lot of things.
But even beyond that, the fact that it is officially now there is a girl
with the
at
same
the school
boots.
with those boots, there's no denying it. You know what I mean? Like, before he could have maybe have been like, Mom, buy me some bootcut jeans and covered the flowers and just been like, purple's
something.
not necessarily, he could have pulled it off. But once there's someone else at the school, a girl,
with the same pair,
it's over. You're done.
Yeah, you're done.
And so as these kids keep running, as his friends, right now we're still good. It's just his friends keep running up, being like,
dude, what are you doing?
Of course, he's trying to be like, don't
Dude,
get
you're going to get
Jagorsky's
Jagorsky's
gonna notice.
attention.
And he does.
We've unclumped.
And so again, it does. Jagorsky shows up.
Yeah, he's just like, is there a dead squirrel? I want to see it.
Oh my God.
You have girl boots on. I'm so happy. I was hoping I'd get to punch somebody in the face until it turned to Kool-Aid today, and now you're here.
Yeah, it was... Again, he got saved once with the power glove, but he's about to get saved again.
Yeah, it's Farmer again, too, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, so Farmer shows up outside, and he's got the flyer, which now means we have to take a step back, because we didn't really mention this, and I think for good purpose, because Farmer's a habitual liar.
Yeah.
And so when we hear him inside, they talk about the dog. We do find out the dog's okay.
Yeah, he just has a bunch of broken legs and shit.
But while the conversation is going on, Farmer tells us, wait, there's still hope for a Nintendo, though.
Yeah,
because they find out that...
Scout Rangers.
Well, they also find out there's officially no Nintendo.
Over at Timmy's house, yeah.
Yeah. And so he was like, there's hope. The Rangers.
They're going to give away one for whoever
or
sells...
the Scouts. Or the... Yeah.
The
well, I don't remember what
Loyals?
the loyal Ranger Scouts. That's what they're called. Yeah.
Wow, that was his name. Those guys, they're going to sell enough wreaths and then you can win.
And everybody's
Nintendo.
like, I don't believe you.
No, he's like, bullshit, we need proof.
Because again, you wouldn't. Right? You told me you didn't even notice that it was... said the first time.
The first time I was just like, oh, I didn't.
You thought the flyer was the first mention of it.
When he came out with the flyers, what just saved him.
Upon second watching, you were like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, they did talk about that.
Yeah, so again, it is worth pointing out. You might miss it too. So
it's like one line of dialogue.
But so he comes out now and he's got his proof, and that's why it's important to finally talk about.
I got my flyer. Look, it's right here.
And it says exactly what he said.
Jagorsky takes it. And he's like, it's just a picture of a wreath.
And he's like, you got to read it.
Neanderthal.
But so they all read it. They verify. It says what he said.
Good on you, Farmer.
Whoever sells the most wreaths will definitely win. The only problem now, though, is the whole playground
is gathered around
and heard Farmer make this announcement. So now everybody,
as soon as school's over, they all rush, get their green
Are they
uniforms.
all part of these scouts? It is a small town. I get there's not a lot going on, but they're all part of these scouts?
I guess so.
It's kind of crazy.
But,
we get a nice little montage.
Game is on.
Of each kid.
Every man for him fucking self.
Doing their stuff. We see Farmer pushing kids
pushing
into the
kid
snow.
out the way.
We see Jagorsky beating kids up.
Beating people up, trying to get them to...
Poor Jake tries to go to a house, gets mocked because, again, they've got a wreath on the door.
Yeah.
Proving how weird the whole competition is because it's already wreath hanging weather.
Yeah, how long till we get our wreath? Am I going to get it before Christmas? Because it makes sense to know if I order it now and I'm going to get it in February. That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
It's so strange.
Are you going to give me the wreath now? Do you have it with you?
We see, though, at some point, Jake turns around and Farmer's on his street.
This is my house.
Well, this is my street.
This is my territory, motherfucker.
You can't be here. And
Back
Farmer's
up.
like, Psh, you think there are rules?
There's
You think
no
there are
fucking
rules
rules
to this?
here.
I'm going to sell. Oh, no, he told him he already sold one to his mom. But we find out that's not true.
Yet.
But only because we get to see the moment he did sell one to his mom.
He gets done after all this
extra
shit.
rubbing it in.
As soon as he gets home, he walks in there and there's fucking Farmer. He's just all schmoozing his mom. Like, I think teachers are the most important resource we have in this country. And blah, blah, blah.
And so that tacked on with the other moment we seen Farmer, we can tell he's a schmoozer.
Yeah, he is.
He's a used car salesman. This motherfucker can definitely sell some wreaths. He's going to be the competition.
Yeah, he is.
He's the man to beat.
He is. Because he is unscrupulous. That's a good word.
Yep. And so when we're at home, though, the mom tells Jake, hey, your dad needs to talk to you out in the backyard. I think we all know where this is going.
Oh, yeah.
Sisters brought it up once, talked about how nasty it was out there.
It's full of poop.
It's like chocolate chips.
On a vanilla cake, he said. Because it is. There is just shit
everywhere. So he gets outside and his dad does. His dad's like, guess what you're going to do in the morning?
You pick up all the poops.
Or right now.
Right now.
So I guess we did get this is supposed to be the next day, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be the beginning of the next day. Sometimes the time jumps in this movie
really
and you
does.
don't know. So it's real easy for it to go from night to morning and us have very little clue that it
Yeah, they're not
happened.
really clear on how many days shit has gone until Christmas.
It's definitely in the morning. He was like, but Dad, I was going to be trying to sell more wreaths. Dad, like, that's tough titties.
Yeah, tough shit. You wanted the dog, you got to pick up after the dog.
You got the dog before I was born.
All right, whoever else wanted the dog, it doesn't matter. Go pick up the poop.
And then he's like, oh, and when you're finished doing that, I need you to varnish these hockey sticks.
Why?
It needs to get done.
Because they need doing. God, ask a bunch of stupid questions and get to work and be careful with the varnish.
Why? It's not like I'm going to drink it.
And cut immediately to him walking inside. He is covered in fucking varnish. It is all over his face, all over his shirt. And he is just miserable
he walks into his
looking.
room and his sister, unironically, after being a bitch this whole time, setting up to fail for the Nintendo the first time, hating him and basically causing shit for him.
Suddenly she's all cool?
No, not even cool. She's just like, hey, I need you to help me get what I want. And it's like, bitch.
What are you fucking talking about? I ain't helping you. This is your fault. If you hadn't opened your mouth about
I'd
the
have
dog
my
shit the
Nintendo
other day,
already.
I'd already have this.
But then she's like, look, I need to get a Cabbage Patch doll. I can't trust Santa with this shit. He didn't give me what I wanted last year. That's a debacle that we can't deal with.
She's like, I can't trust him. He didn't get me the thing last year. She-Ra. It was She-Ra. He didn't get me a She-Ra last year, so I can't trust him. I got to go through mom and dad.
Yeah. And so she's like, I'm going to need your help, though. I can't convince them on my own. And again, like...
why the hell
Jake's
should I help you?
And then she's like, because if you help me, I've got the number one idea that's going to help you sell these wreaths and get your Nintendo. And he's like, what? She's like, look, just tell me you're going to help me. And so he agrees. And she's like, 2 words for you. Retirement home.
Which is a brilliant fucking idea.
It was. It's genius. It's exactly what she says. She goes,
old people buy things from kids.
Well, she says, old people buy things from kids. And she goes, there are 200 of them there, all with their own door.
That's 200 wreaths. It's a brilliant fucking idea. It was.
And so we see he's like, okay.
Yeah, he rolls up.
He goes up to the retirement center.
And has to hang out with the old people.
Yeah, exactly. The catch here, which if anybody who has ever had to help, I have definitely had to do volunteer work at a retirement home. The catch is they are all greedy for attention. People put them there, don't pay attention to them.
Yeah.
And they were. The only way he was going to get it was he was going to have to waste the whole day.
All day.
Making sure their days were better.
My favorite one was the old man who had fallen asleep while signing for the thing.
The actual implication was that he died because that's why he said what he said. He would have wanted that.
Yeah. Well, the actor was still breathing. He didn't do a good job.
I know, but I'm saying that's where that joke comes from, that he would be dead. He would have, because again, it's best wishes. His wishes.
He looks straight at the camera. Even he's like, he would have wanted it this way, and he finishes signing in for him. I thought the old lady telling the history of Chicago was actually pretty interesting. I was like, oh, I would have hung out with her.
But so it's a nice little scene. Yeah, he definitely gets a whole lot of reads.
Got like 47.
Yeah, he told us. He got a bunch. And straight away from getting picked up there, we find out it's family
shopping time.
They go to Chicago one time a year. Big city. They leave the small town because again, at small town suburban life at this time, this is pre online shopping, right? So if it's not in your town, if the store is not in your town, you have to go to the mall. You have to go where the store is to buy the thing you want. So there's always that one shopping day where you gotta go. And so the dad's like, I hate it.
Yeah, he says least favorite, most expensive day of the year.
Right. And we see these cars cutting him off and he's yelling at all of them. He hates Wisconsin. We see it constantly through the movie.
Yeah, some Wisconsin plates.
He's always going off on the cheeseheads. He's always got something to say. His wife is from Wisconsin. You know, we
Packers
hear it later
fans.
On. Yeah. It's so good. I love everything he's got to say. Yeah, he's getting cut off left and right, but in the car ride, Jake starts his shit. Right, Jake starts to push the doll.
He's like Cabbage Patch Kid.
He's like, hey, you guys know that the mall we're going to sells the most Cabbage Patch Kids of anywhere in all of Illinois.
Dad's just like, does he want a fucking Cabbage Patch?
Yeah, does he want one now? Did I miss something?
I thought he wanted the Nintendo.
Right? And then he just keeps pushing it. They get there. He's still pushing it while they're walking through the entrance.
They had to come with their own birth certificate.
Now's that moment where we told you it's a callback. But was the first one the callback or is this the callback? Because we see they get outside the mall that we saw Neil Patrick Harris slip in front of.
There's with the
Santa.
The Santa
ringing the bell. We see the ice. It's already there.
It's still there.
So
it's always been there.
It's up to you. On your first viewing, this is the callback. On your second viewing, the other one's a callback. Which is the callback? Where's what come from? something here was the first time.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
Exactly. But so yeah, the ice is already there, but they get inside, right? This is the key part. They're inside. They're making a beeline. He even says, "Hey, I think right up there is where they normally sell the Cabbage Patch Kids." And of course, mom's like you said, she never pays attention. No. She's not even really paying attention. She just says, "Yeah, go ahead,
go ahead, honey, lead the way."
She's not looking at her, not paying attention. They get to the Cabbage Patch doll section, and they're like,
"Nope."
There's not a one on the shelf.
You're 20 minutes late.
Yeah, the janitor is shaking his head.
I saw someone punch a grandmother.
Well, because, this is the thing.
They were in their own family.
The Cabbage Patch Wars of
were
88,
a real fucking thing.
It's a real thing. You think Tickle Me Elmo was bad. You think Black Friday's bad.
People were murdered over these things.
The Cabbage Patch craze of the 80s was truly insane.
The black market on those, man, you could get freaking grand easy for some of this shit.
So at this point, though, we see now we've got two people in this family. Both of their Christmas dreams
they're
dashed.
Ruined. She cries. She gets all sad. Boo-hoo.
Parents walk off. Watch your sister. He's like, okay. But then he turns and he sees
the Nintendo kiosk.
This thing was the coolest kiosk too. Did you see it? It had every game you can think of. It had the stereos on the side.
Right.
This was dope. It would have been hard not to be sucked in.
No, I would have too. I don't think it would have talked to me.
No, I was right to say. Now that being said, this kid goes through some straight train spotting level addiction shit when he walks up to this. We see the lights change. He's hearing voices that aren't real. He thinks a crowd forms behind him. He thinks they're chanting
his name.
He drops his
fucking pops his retainer out.
So he can scream better.
Jake Doyle. And then his dad shows up.
Now I want to know, do you think he was really screaming that?
I believe he actually screamed out, "I am Jake Doyle" to the fat kid who was still standing there when his dad popped up.
What do you think all the other kids, or all the other shoppers were like,
what the fuck?
But so, yeah, in his weird fever dream, his dad finally walks up and is like,
"Where's your sister?"
Oh, shit.
She wandered off while I was playing Nintendo, Dad. I'm very sorry.
And so then they go look and they're freaking out. They're looking for her. And he hears the Nintendo try to suck him back in one more time. He's like, this is all your fault.
Fucking the little girl off in the corner, she's just like, she cringed. She actually think he actually scared her when he came back. But
then luckily we get out front. And of course she's just standing by the Santa on the ice. They're on the ice. Did you notice that? They are literally standing on the giant ice puddle. And I was like, shut up right now.
Right, nobody falls.
Nobody falls. Dad even comes running outside.
That's why I was waiting for him to fall when he came running up.
Nope. Everybody's good though. They're all waiting. And Dad's like, well, at least you found your sister. It couldn't have been as bad as something like losing your retainer though. And we get the moment where Jake...
open your mouth. Yeah.
And Jake realizes, oh shit. That part was real. All the other stuff I did in my head was in my head.
The retainer.
But I really threw my retainer on the floor.
It's in the mall. Oh God.
And so he runs inside.
His dad chases him because he's like, "You come here and open your damn mouth."
And it's the craziest run through the mall.
Yeah,
he sees it. It's disgusting. He sees it, what we can only assume was like 5 minutes from when he dropped it. It's still in the same place and it already looks nasty.
It is caked and shit.
And then it starts getting mopped over and swept and pushed. But the kid's like, I'm going to get there. He jumps. We're not even getting all of it. But he makes it.
Yeah,
he gets down there.
Slide
right before his dad shows up,
in his mouth.
shoves this nasty thing in his mouth. And his dad says, oh.
All right, then.
All right. Now, I got to say, we don't get to see how this scene ends, but how does it end? What would your dad say to you if he found the retainer in your mouth, but you did still make him chase you through a mall?
You just still beat my ass.
Right?
Like, what are you doing making me chase you through a fucking
If it was
mall?
in your mouth the whole time.
He would have forgotten entirely about the retainer.
Right?
As soon as I bolted, it would have turned into, where the fuck are you going? Get back here.
What was this? Yeah, right? Like,
why are you running
I was
from
like,
me?
oh, great, he found it, and that's all good. But I still would have been in trouble for the whole chase.
Through the fucking entire mall, yeah.
But we just see it, no consequence. It's over. It's done, whatever. We leave the mall to a scene where they're sitting in the car together. I didn't understand at first what was going on.
For a second, I was like, what the hell are we doing?
Until they finally actually announced it. I was
he's like listening to the game. I was like, maybe that's the only place he could get reception for that game. That's exactly what I thought.
That's literally, I've seen the movie before and I couldn't remember. And it is in my notes from when I watched it the first time this year. I was like, is it just not locally shown, so we couldn't watch it on TV? So that's the closest radio station. That's exactly it. But then we finally see them get out of the car. They're there for a black market sale.
Yeah, there's a guy who's gonna sell some Cabbage Patch Kids out of his trunk.
Some bootlegging some toys out of the back of his car.
Good business.
It was. And we see, this is that moment. This is the thing I was telling you guys I didn't want to mention when we were saying everybody in the movie, because I love him. And I think this is the greatest like cameo, pop-up, whatever you want to call it. David Cross.
David Cross.
I love David Cross. I think he is hilarious in everything. Arrested Development, anything you can think of. I don't know. He is funny.
Yeah, he's funny in everything he's in.
He's great.
Scary Movie 2.
Yeah.
Where he's in the wheelchair. That's so good.
But so we see David Cross he is our man. He's our black market toy salesman.
Yeah, he's got them all. Look at him.
Yeah, he takes them to their trunk. He flips open the trunk. He's like, I got Cabbage Patch
like
Kids.
15
got
of
whatever
them in
you want.
there.
And he's like, you just let me know. And the kid looks and he's like, we need a redhead with freckles. He's like, yeah, just go ahead. Look, find the one. Knowing that he doesn't have that.
Right.
But then we look in, the dad calls him on it. He goes, well, I mean, the redhead's got no freckles.
Oh, the blonde one's got freckles.
What do you pick?
Yeah, I mean,
he picks the blonde.
Yeah, you
can always dye the hair. Come on.
Yeah, he really could.
And then dude is a good black market toy salesman, because he's like, he doesn't have the box. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But he did still have the fake
gift certificate thing.
Birth certificate. Fake birth certificate. Yeah, he had the fake certificate. Had the fake birth certificate. It had the signature thing it's supposed to have.
Yeah, right on the butt.
So again, if it wasn't a legit doll,
really good
really
fake.
Good. Yeah, really good knockoff. Gotta love the counterfeit.
Yeah, 6-year-old's not gonna know the difference.
And the dad thinks he pulled one off because he got it for $70 instead of $100.
Yeah, he's like,
obviously
down from 100.
You just doesn't understand how this stuff works.
No.
And that was it. That's all. David Cross is gone. We had our nice little moment.
We
saw the Nintendo in the trunk.
Yeah,
and he was
Jake's
like,
a little
shit.
pissed off that his dad went to Herculean effort to get a Cabbage Patch. I was like, yeah, that's a little fucked up. He does not give two
shits about this kid's Christmas.
No, he even asked his dad, he's like, can we ask about the Nintendo? And he's like, no, shut up.
Yeah. But they did get the doll. Next thing we fade to, scout meeting. Really weirdly religious. And again, this
weird ritual going on.
This is how it was in the 80s and early 90s. Like, I did 4-H stuff, and 4-H was still kind of like this at the time. All group functions like this had weird religious overtones. We finally get to see who won.
We got third, second, and first place.
Third place. Well, before we even get there, I want to mention the weirdness of the scout instructor. He was like, don't forget, guys, we got the Pinewood Derby coming up. We got the Founders Day Parade.
Right.
And I got a new NAM poem to share with you guys.
Like, okay, man, I don't really want
that was intense.
Hear that one.
That was strange. Out of place.
I mean, I would like to listen to your NAM poem, but don't tell it to the kids.
Yeah, but then he does. He starts. He's like, all right, we got our third place, Farmer. I was shocked.
Me too. I thought he'd place higher with all. I
thought at least
talking,
second, least second, if not first. Right? I thought it was gonna be between our boy and Farmer.
Yeah,
it's not what we see. Farmer gets third place.
A subscription to Boys Life.
Letting us know that these are definitely supposed to be somehow attached to Cub Scouts.
The Scoutmaster, he was super happy about it. He's like,
I love that magazine.
Love that magazine. Great articles.
The second place winner, Teddy and Tammy. Tammy's been cheating, wearing a hat, pretending to be a boy to help get sales because her brother just couldn't do it. And again, there were two of them, and they only got second.
Yeah, that nursing home, man.
And all they got
was a fucking globe.
And Teddy threw that shit
in the trash. That was awesome. Right in front of him, just boom. Fuck this.
So now we get our highest sales, not only this year, in troop history. Jake, our boy, he did it.
The lights change. That's even it. Like he gets like music.
It flashes to the same weird addiction color.
Right, the weird blue and green lighting.
And we're like, all right.
Yeah.
Yet another moment. We're like, our boy beat all odds.
He got the Nintendo. We won. Story over. Thank you, everybody. Good night. That's our show.
Gets up there and he pulls the thing off, and it's
bunch of goddamn encyclopedias.
It's a full set.
It's a full set. Well, I mean, that's like $300 right there.
But it is just encyclopedias.
It was like getting more school.
He got snookered.
He really did.
And then we find out why. We get a brief flashback in our flashback of a moment that none of these people saw, which is even weirder.
Yeah, he's just extrapolating. This is what happened.
But we find out that Dr. Keene, that would be Timmy's dad, has started an anti-video game league with all of the other parents.
Poor dog got smashed because of the
and it's not his son's fault.
No, it's the games.
His poor son, who just got diagnosed with ADD, he's special. Nobody else has it.
It's so rare. It's so rare.
And again, this ADD makes so much more sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for what's wrong with him.
The throwing the fits and shit.
Oh.
I get all of it now. I don't excuse it.
No, it's like we can get you some Ritalin and smack you in the head a little and you'll be fine.
No more dogs are getting crushed in my town. The cop Whenever
the
dad
cop,
starts
there's all like, yeah, ban the video games, ban them.
And again, as if all video games are the problem. And then, we get the chant. And then, again, I got to give Jake, great chant earlier, right?
The go Timmy, go Taekwondo.
Great chant.
This is a good one, too?
No, it's not. This is a horrible... I'll tell you why. His chant is video game over. It's not video game over. It's video, comma.
There should be another game in there. Would make more sense.
His chant literally is like calling for videos to be finished. Because it's video, game over.
You can't take my movies from me, you crotchety old man.
So, like I said, it's halfway to being a good chant.
You're so close.
But really, like, if you actually wrote it out, it is video, comma, game over.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he makes sure that it's not video game. He makes sure that people don't say it that way. You literally see him pause so that way they will do it the right way.
He even makes them bring it down a little bit. He's like, all right, now bring it down. Video.
Yeah, he gets way into it.
Video. Game over.
Because this guy is weird.
He is. He's a weird guy.
But yeah, so again, not that great of a chant. But it's halfway. It's halfway to a good chant.
It works though, because they get.
Oh no, they all get into it.
All the rest of the counties start banning video games and shit.
Their whole county. That's what we've heard. Nowhere in that county, nowhere in
Nintendo,
Batavia or whatever the fuck the town's name is.
No Ataris, nothing. No video games of any kind. No more video games.
So it's no longer
the arcade shut
literally
down.
At this point, Jake is. I mean, he's flat.
Yeah, he's just sitting there watching TV. They're talking about it on the news.
And it's really bad
he's
because Jake is such a good brother. We see this scene and we're still seeing both Doyles deflated, right? Mm-hmm. But Jake knows that she's fine.
Yeah, she's gonna get her.
And he's such a good brother. He's not even trying to ruin the surprise for her. He's not trying to leave it. He's not like, shut your mouth, you got yours.
You're getting what you want. You just leave me the fuck alone.
He keeps going with it. Like that's so good. Like he's
nice brother.
She still believes in Santa.
Yeah, she's a little
he's
bitch,
letting her have it.
Brother.
He's letting her have it. Now she tries to make it up though.
She does. She gives him the remote.
Even the daughter present day was like, whoa,
that's huge.
That's serious. I would never give my brother one.
It's probably just like the Roku remote now, but it's still a remote.
Same deal. He's in control of the TV.
Yeah, it's like I'm not doing that. That was a fist fight back in the day over that.
And during this moment, we see the TV, right? He watches. You see the news, and it's more about the dad. It's about Timmy Keen's dad, Dr. Keen. And that's when we find out he's a doctor of podiatry.
Yeah, because fucking Jake's just like, you're a podiatrist.
And I was like, holy shit! Now I have so much less respect for that. Like I was like, he's a doctor. And I was like, you're hearing him talk about these things, and you're like, oh, he must be a psychologist. That's just the way the scene plants it.
You're just a foot doctor.
And you're like, oh, fuck everything. Again, I wasn't really on his side, but like I was like, at least like it kind of like, oh, he sounds.
If he was a psychologist, he would have more like
something
merit to what he said.
Holy
but like,
shit.
You're a toe doctor. Get out of here.
And so now they're just like, everything's over, right?
Yeah.
So they've got no chance. Defeated. We see 6 days before Christmas, we get told they're going to the skating rink.
Yeah, because it's the twins' birthday.
It's the Hodges twins' birthday.
Shared birthday.
Again, I got to say, as someone who has a little bit of insight to this, fuck, these kids got it bad.
Yeah.
Like, I had a twin sister. I feel they constantly, what's she say? They constantly get this is for both of you bullshit. I feel that. I felt that so hard because I can't tell you how many board games I got on birthdays or Christmas that literally were like, that's for the both of you. It was horrible. So I get that, and I couldn't imagine stacking Christmas on top of it to where they are then. Like you already don't get to.
This is your birthday and Christmas present.
It's shared with someone else. So it's literally like one present that should be 4.
It's all pointed into like in fifths,
right? Like that one gift should have been 4. It should have been 2 for you and 2 for her, and instead it's 1. Holy fuck!
Horrible, poor kids.
I felt so bad for those.
No
two.
wonder they all look so goddamn sad.
And then on top of it,
no Nintendo.
Well, Evan makes the joke. He's like, my cousin's got one, but that's in the county next to us. And he's like, oh, that's not that county. It's
the one over here.
He's like, well, how'd you know that? I got encyclopedias. It was so funny.
He's using them at least.
Yeah, it was so funny. But then we get the weirdest moment though, right? Jake, in the middle of this conversation they start having after she opens up the baseball card, right? They get a weird reject card.
The Billy Ripken fuckface card.
Which is great and worth a lot of money.
No, it is, because when I saw this scene, I was laughing my ass off. I was like, I literally watched a video about this the other day, somebody talking about this exact card.
But yeah, so we see that, but in the middle of that conversation, though, he just goes, I've got an idea.
Right.
What about that? What about that moment led him to this weird idea?
The card was worth money.
I know, but couldn't it? I don't know. He came up with a full.
His brain works faster than ours.
His head came up with a full-fledged idea.
He's a master strategist
to go from selling cards to ending up getting the Nintendo with no parents involved in bringing that shit to them or buying it for them.
None.
They would buy it all
doing
themselves.
It all ourselves.
But yeah, it was so crazy. But yeah, so now we see they're in the room and he's like, I got a plan. We don't really see a whole lot of the plan.
But it sums up to, we're going to sell these baseball cards, get the money for the Nintendo when we go on the field trip this weekend. We're going to distract the bus driver, sneak off the bus, go buy the Nintendo, sneak back on the bus. We're golden. Nice and easy.
We do find out parts of the plan as we go through.
Evan has to eat SpaghettiOs and
because
throw
it makes
up.
him throw up. They do time this?
Yeah, apparently they did
because
a lot of experimenting.
They know exactly how long
2
he'll
cans
throw
equals
up
9 minutes.
So they did a lot of prep work on this. Evan definitely put in his work.
Yeah, he did. Poor Evan having to throw up that many times just in the testing.
Farmer's trying to be part of everything, right? Like he doesn't want to be left out. He wants to make sure that when this Nintendo gets purchased, he gets playtime, right?
So
he comes. They're like, we need cards to sell for this part to buy it. And so he shows up. Batman cards.
Batman look like an Iron Man and something else.
So like comic book cards, and he's like,
yeah, and they shoot him down. They're like, no, it's stupid.
I have a problem with this because again,
I did too.
We just had the conversation where the twins tell us they know that rarity makes a card worth something.
Yes.
That's why the fuckface was going to be worth money. It was a misprint. It should never have been printed. It will be worth something. So shouldn't they as kids, even if there's no like market for it that they can see now, they would at least already know in the future
somebody might want
money.
These.
So again, not even just for this. Like, yeah, I understand maybe they couldn't have sold it that day for anything worthwhile. Those kids would have done something to keep those cards.
I mean,
they wouldn't have shot him down and made him feel like trash.
No, at least it's a couple extra dollars. Jesus.
Yeah, well, they sell it at a comic book shop. It's not even like a dedicated card store, which in the 80s there were. So they could have made this a card store. They made it a comic book shop. They could have sold those comic book things.
Easily would have gave him 50 cents a piece for him, right?
He could have got something. But they sell their cards. And again, I want to point out, it was supposed to be 6 days before Christmas. This trip, why are they still in school?
Right? This close to Christmas.
And it's got to be, what, 3 days before Christmas by the time they finally actually go? Because that was on the weekend.
So they just don't.
They had to have time to sell cards.
They only get a 2-day Christmas break in Chicago, I guess.
Understand. So they get there on the day. They got their money.
They got their plan. They're all
ready.
Everything's good to go. Fucking Jaworski
tries to steal the Trapper Keeper.
Fucking
just got the money.
He just takes it. And they're like, what are you going to do about it? And then they're
like, I don't know.
And they all get on the bus. And once again,
so they're still deflated.
Once again, the teacher gives him shit about his snowshoes.
Fuck that. Wearing Katie Sorrentino's boots again? Sorry.
Gets on the bus and there's Katie Sorrentino. She's like, I have the same boots.
Yeah. But yeah, right now they're
fucked.
Plan's over. They got nothing they can do.
Jaworski's got the money, man.
Who comes in? Who saves the day? Connor,
there it is. God damn it. Connor Stump. He's just like, man.
The weird kid.
Jaworski's not that bad. Just think about something happy when
just go up there.
Yeah, and just go to it. And he's like, oh, God, I get it now. You're not the weird kid. You're the rebel. You're the guy who doesn't give a fuck. I should do that. Mm-hmm. And then Jake's just like, I'm done. I'm going to get my goddamn money back.
If he can do it. He literally, that's the
little
line in his head.
Can do this.
If Connor Stump can be above this stuff, can be above what people are saying.
He goes back there. He puts the fucking girly snow boot up on Jaworski's chest. And he's like, you were going to give me my fucking money back or I'm going to break you in half. You're nothing. You're all talk.
Yeah.
You're worth a hill of beans. That's what he says.
So good. So great.
He gets his money back and fucking, I'm pointing out real world. That shit ain't how that going on.
Oh, no.
Jaworski would have just killed him.
Well, especially a guy as big as
that guy, he would have
just... Maybe if it was a bully that was the same size as you,
he might
like
got away with it, but that giant, hell no.
But yeah, so he gets all this stuff. The plan can keep going.
Now it's up to Evan. We got to distract the teacher and the bus driver.
He pulls it off great.
Goes out there and throws up.
Starts doing exactly what he needs to.
Right in her face, the poor teacher.
I know. She's covered in it.
She's just covered. It's so
Jake
gross.
Slips out the
back. They covered up the alarm with the jacket. I thought that was smart.
Clever. They thought it all out.
Right?
He slides out the back, gets inside. We see the ice slip.
Yep.
One more time, we see it.
One more, because the Santa's like, careful, ice.
And he's like, I don't know.
And whatever, I'll be careful.
And he goes inside.
And then he has one more little fucking problem.
Unexpected. But we've got Timmy's mom and the twins' mom,
yeah,
right?
the twins'
or
mom.
Is it Trotter's
I think
mom?
it might be Trotter's mom.
But there's two moms.
There's two moms blocking his way to the game store, and he's like, God damn it, what do we do? He's radioing back.
I need someone to...
What do we do? Fucking farmer to the rescue, buddy. He goes onto the...
He calls
the store.
He calls the mall.
The mall, yeah.
And has them brought to, like, a courtesy
call phone.
And they get there, and he starts telling
bullshit.
them all kinds of lies. And
down
finally,
his
at one
best
point,
bullshit.
though, they buy it.
Yeah, they do, because
But he sells himself up the ripper.
Yep.
As soon as they buy it, he immediately is like,
oh,
yes,
shit.
God, I can't believe they believe me.
This is
and
the
they're
first
like,
time anybody's
I still
believed me.
hear you. And it's like, damn it.
God damn it.
Farmer. But it doesn't matter. He distracted them long enough for the plan to work.
Yep. He gets the Nintendo.
Jake gets the Nintendo.
He's got a minute left.
He's
the
running
bus
out
is
the
leaving.
door. He's gonna make it.
Ice.
He hits the ice. This same damn fucking ice. We now know why adult Jake
was like,
got so
seriously,
mad.
it's still here.
Because
It's the exact same fucking
this
patch
moment. He
that
slides
cost him.
in the bag with the Nintendo.
Just goes flying.
Hits the road.
Gets crushed by the bus.
And it explodes. Now, obviously,
because
that
it
was
has to.
exaggeration. Obviously, exaggeration.
No. We all know a well-known fact: a Nintendo explodes when mishandled.
But so, no Nintendo.
No.
That's really all we need
We're
to
just
worry
left
about
with
here.
everybody screaming, "No!"
What do we do now, guys?
He's just saying, there's
He's
nothing
there.
you can do.
He's freaking out. School is gone.
The bus
they
is
left
gone.
Him.
Like,
so
he's just
like
sitting
not
on
only did he not get the Nintendo, and
He's
they're
just
all
left
left
on a
money.
bench at the
he doesn't know
mall.
how he's going to leave Chicago.
Yeah, he's just trapped.
He looks across the street. Who's there?
David Cross.
God bless David Cross.
You fucking hero, you.
He sees them. He talks to him. He's like, "Kid, I remember you. Well, I'll help. I feel bad about this. Let me help you." And the kid's like, You're gonna
let me have your Nintendo? He's like,
no, I don't think you're paying attention, because he told him the whole lesson about the donkey.
Yeah, he's like, sometimes you don't get what you want, but you still got your family and all that shit.
Things are so good. You got to respect the things you do have. Kid totally didn't pay attention.
No, he just
wanted
like
the Nintendo. Like, God damn it, you're not listening. So then David Cross pays a cabbie to take him to where the school trip was. So that way he can at least
get back
not
with his
get
school.
killed for running away from a school trip.
Right. And then it just hard cuts to Christmas morning after that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's just a little jarring.
Well, I mean, what else do we got to talk about now, though?
I kind of wanted to see the aftermath of him not being on the bus.
Well, there wouldn't have been. Again, he went. They took him to where the field trip was. So again, Bo, this is one of those age gap things that we didn't talk about beforehand because I didn't know we'd need to. At that time, on a field trip, they would never have called roll. Ever. Maybe in the school before you left, but that would have been it. They would not have called roll on the bus. They would not have called roll when you got off the bus. They would not have called roll when you got back on the bus.
Wow.
That's just not how a field trip worked back then.
Wow, shit changed a lot in 4 fucking years.
Yeah, so
he's like, before you got on a bus, when you got off the bus, when you got back on the bus, when you got home, like you were counted every time you fucking went somewhere.
Back then, he 100% could have got away with that, and no way would ever know.
I missed out by 4 fucking years. God damn it.
So that's why we didn't go back to that, is because in the 80s, we wouldn't have needed to.
Wouldn't needed it.
He just would have been
my
good.
90s ass would have got my ass beat. They would have noticed immediately.
But yeah, so you're right, though. The next moment is Christmas. We know, no Nintendo. He's sad as shit. Lizzie gets her goddamn Cabbage Patch
she's
doll.
super happy.
Now, I will at least say she was nice about the...
Yeah.
You know, she could have been a bitch. She's been a bitch this whole time. She could have been upset that it wasn't redheaded.
Yeah, because she didn't think Dad...
Jake even says to her, Jake even's like, I'm sorry, I know you want it. And she's like, it's okay, it's perfect.
Right.
I was proud of that.
You wanted
it was a good
redhead.
moment. It was a good moment, right? Good
She didn't thank Dad. She thanked Jake for it.
Well, because Jake's the one that she said.
Yeah, she was like, we had our plan, man.
That's right, and he pulled through.
You pulled off
she
your
pulled
end.
through.
I'm sorry it didn't work out on your
she
side.
pulled through on her part of it. It just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Just to be clear.
She started off as such a bitch.
She didn't back out.
She has a little bit of a story arc. She started off as such a bitch, and then you like her by the end of the movie.
So we see all the other presents are getting opened. And again, like I said, we just see Jake.
He got
can't
bookends.
Yeah,
he got bookends for his encyclopedias.
He can't find joy in any of it because he knows.
Trying to
he knows
not be
it's
a
not
dick,
gonna. It's not gonna be what he wants.
Yeah.
But then we see one more present.
This is like
stuck on the the corner between the bookshelf and the wall.
Right, like Dad pulls it out with the power cord while
Right,
he's
like,
playing with his new sander.
What is this?
It's the exact size and shape of a Nintendo.
And weight. He even says weight.
And weight.
He's like, because I just held it.
I just held it in my hands the other day. I know that box.
And so the mom says, "Oh, it's from Uncle Dan." We don't know who Uncle Dan is, but we know he's crazy.
We haven't heard from
They all
Uncle
call
Dan.
him
Crazy rich Uncle Dan. Where's Uncle Dan? They said it like 5
Japan.
times. Japan. No. The home of Nintendo.
Oh, no.
It has to be, right? This is it.
We finally
this is
get our
where
Nintendo.
he gets it.
Again. This is like the fourth time.
The fourth time.
No.
It's a fucking...
Goddamn light bright.
Which...
A Japanese light bright of all things.
Which is kind of cool, admittedly, but if I wanted a
it'd be
Nintendo...
cool if he was his sister's age.
Yeah.
At 11?
I mean, I had a light bright.
Were you 11?
Not when I got it, but I had it up until I was 11. Does that count?
Were you regularly playing with it at 11?
Every once in a while.
Yeah, okay. So you get my point?
Mostly when, like,
would you have been
power
excited?
outages.
Would you have been excited at 11 to get it new?
Fuck no.
Okay, there's the question. That's the answer. That's what I was looking for.
I was trying to put a bow on this, but whatever.
But yeah, so he gets a light bright, not what he wanted. At this point, we cut to present day. Like that is officially the end of our
The
past.
daughter is done at this point. She's like, what kind of freaking story is this? Like, Nintendo were we even playing if you didn't get one?
You said you got, like, I don't understand what this whole story was. And he's like, let me show you something. And as they're walking and talking, he's like, so I did finally get a Nintendo.
I had to work for it. I caddied for a golf
I did
course
all this
summer
work and
shit.
I finally bought it with my own
That's how I got my
money.
PlayStation 2.
So, and again, it's all good. But we find out the real reason for the story. So yeah, he didn't get what he wanted. Dad says, I think there's one more present for you. It's in the backyard, right? Because they're about to go to mom's.
Yeah, they're about to go to Minnesota or some shit.
Yeah, to mom's family. He's like, but before we go,
check out back, right?
And he runs out back.
And the dopest treehouse.
That I have no idea when his dad had the time to make.
And how no one noticed it. It's huge.
But his dad built this giant...
There are actual houses that are smaller than this thing.
We see that part of the gate are the varnished
hockey sticks that he worked on.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was super good.
Again, John made Jake work on it without letting him know that he
was
helped
doing
build
it.
It's so beautiful. You're just like, holy shit, man. You have this major bonding moment. The kid's like, what the fuck? We see the picture when they finally zoom out of like later that next summer when all the kids, you know, like again, it became
they did
the
like
thing.
sleepovers and all the fun.
It was the place to be. Like his dad literally, it's like his dad told him, you build forts in the woods, man. This is what you do. And that's what they did.
We went from Tommy Keene's basement being all the like the coolest place
this being the coolest place.
this being the coolest place.
And then so that's when we leave that moment. Now we're in the future. Now we see the daughter is like, oh.
Now I get it.
Now it makes sense.
Even if I'm not going to get a phone, Christmas can still be fun. And he's like, yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say.
Right? We see dinner and they're talking and everything. You know, she's like, I see it.
And then it gets sad.
Well, it gets very real. Again, like I said, this movie is a bit of a tribute to my dad. I watched this movie the first time the year after he passed away.
Worse for you.
We find out that this is the first Christmas that they're having after his dad had passed away. But beyond that, as they say it, they start to zoom across the living room, and we find out again. This was a pivotal Christmas.
Yeah,
for the family.
This is where him and Jake found their thing.
And they then spend time together, and they do stuff together.
All kinds of shit after
everything in the house now, instead of having a single J,
has a double J.
Because they both put their initials on it.
Aww.
We see the weird thing on the wall has it, right?
Like the spice rack.
Yeah, everything.
The cabinet.
They zoom out.
Yeah, it's like, it's all sweet, but I'm like, man, that was unnecessarily sad for this like super funny, fun movie we've been watching. And then the last like 5 minutes, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, the dad's dead. You know how you liked him? Fuck you.
Well, no, like I said, it could have been worse. Again, the new version of a Christmas, the
Christmas
updated
story?
Christmas story, a Christmas story, or whatever the fuck it is. A Christmas story, Christmas. That's what it is. I knew one word was repeated. That one just starts, like I told you, it just starts off, they tell you the dad died. You are part of the announcement. At least in this one,
they let you have fun.
It happened off screen sometime. It wasn't recent. It's just the first Christmas.
You didn't have the ghost of him haunting the rest of the movie.
And it was again, like again, we see adult Jake has made peace with this, and he's good, and he wants his daughter to see, and he's trying to find a way to bond with her the same way him and his dad bonded. And I think the story did it. And then he found it.
Yeah, she was like,
And
because she
now
was super into the story.
And
about
now the beauty
halfway.
here is that Nintendo becomes their thing, right? Think about
Right.
it. Because that's what they actually did. They didn't actually build anything.
No, they sat and played Nintendo the entire time they were telling the story.
It's the unsaid thing that makes this really beautiful to me.
Yeah, because every time they cut back, they're still playing.
Yeah, so to me, that's the beautiful part. It's not said out loud, but that's, again, him and his dad found their thing, and they say that out loud.
Yeah.
But him and his daughter found their
thing.
thing, and it's just not said. It's not pointed out specifically.
Fast forward 3 years and look
Yeah,
at
well,
their
again,
massive Nintendo
They
collection
make a sequel
they've
to
got.
this. That's it, right? Like the
Yeah.
sequel to this is that was their thing, and maybe it's like him finding the thing with his son, right? Like
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want them to do that.
No, don't do a sequel. There's no reason.
No, this is good as it is. Leave it encapsulated.
We don't need 16-bit Christmas.
Oh, shut up! You even got a name for it, dude.
I just figured that was the easiest, most obvious one.
Stop it. Well, his little brother would be the right age for it. Stop it.
God, stop it. No.
Stop it,
Don't
dude.
listen
You're
to me.
giving them
I am a
ideas.
foolish man. I'm stupid. It'll cost you all the money in the world. It'll be a flop.
All right. Well, I think we're done with
I really liked this beer.
this beer. Is really good. Again, like we said at the beginning, it's not a Christmas beer. We thought it was going to be a Christmas beer.
No, there was no cinnamon, ginger, none of that BS. It tastes like, it's weird. It's like an IPA, but it doesn't look like one.
Yeah, it looks dark.
It confuses my brain.
So again, like we mentioned at the top, if you know what it is, tell us, because we are very intrigued. We'd like to know more. The bottle doesn't tell us anymore.
What beer is dark like a lager but tastes like an IPA? I really
Or
want to know.
specifically, if you just know more about Abita and you know
what they're doing.
they actually made this year. Like if maybe they announce it wherever they're from or something like that. But again, like we just don't know.
Yeah.
That was the end of Christmas. We're about to kick off for the new year, which means we are done with our gimmies.
Yeah, no more freebies.
So what are we going to be drinking next time?
We're doing the game again. This is your hint. We're gonna be drinking A Pink to the Past by Mirror Twin Brewing.
All right. Sounds interesting.
Pink to the Past.
So don't forget, guys, new year,
New year,
rules.
new game. Everybody play. Put your suggestions in the comments and stuff. What you think the next episode's going to be.
And just as a reminder, everybody, try to keep in mind we're gonna try to kick it back to what we promised for the new year. We're gonna try to get back to
Other stuff
movies
besides
and
movies.
pop culture.
Yeah, we're going to do other stuff.
All right. Well, we've got another special little clip here, just like we did one time before. We've got our youngest little fan. He wanted to give his little bit of insight into 8-Bit Christmas. All right, buddy. What did you think about the movie?
It's good. I love him not getting a Tendo, him getting a tree house.
That is right. He
Yeah, that was
definitely got a tree house. What did you think about that tree house?
Is good?
Go ahead. You can say it.
Slide and punch the bell.
That's right. Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome.
Yay.
All right. Well, all right. I think we're done, man.
Are we done?
I think that's it.
All right, I challenge you to Dr. Mario.
Such a small town, such a douchey kid.